Alright, it's freezing cold, pouring with rain outside, I'm missing a sleeve, and at last we have come to the finale of Season 13 of classic Doctor Who. What a roller coaster! From gross out Zygons to ridiculous antimatter creatures, this season has personally been a pretty mixed bag for me. I was shocked to find out a few weeks ago that Season 13 is considered by many to be the best of old school Who. Seriously? Not to say it was bad or anything, but I don't know, I just didn't find enough of the serials to be heavy hitters. But sure enough, regular viewer T.A.R.D.I.S Milkshake sent me through an article showing the definitive fan rankings, and there it was, second from the top, Season 13. Absolutely wild. He's also the one who sent through the Season 13 collection box set concept art. That's really well done. I'm in a couple of Doctor Who Facebook groups, so I see a lot of really amateur looking like box set fan arts, but this one is actually really cool, so good job on that one. Well, with that out of the way, will this final story of the season end things on a high note, or will it cement this season in my mind as just meh? We'll double tap your screen, fast forward through the intro and find out. The Seeds of Doom, not to be confused with The Seeds of Death, that awesome story with Patrick Troughton and the Ice Warriors, is a 6-part story from 1976. Unfortunately, I don't have a physical DVD, so I had to use Dailymotion, yada yada, you know the point. Okay, right off the bat. Earlier this year, I finally watched the John Carpenter classic, The Thing, and man, did this serial ever remind me of the movie. I know The Seeds of Doom predates that film by several years, but man, what a marvellous setup that just so happens to resemble that iconic film. Such a fascinating hook to grab the viewer's attention. Scientists in an Antarctic research base discover some foreign object, a seed in this case, although it's constantly referred to as a pod throughout the story. Little do these researchers know that it's actually alien in origin, and it latches on to one of them, assimilating him and transforming him into some new, horrific creature. See? It's literally just The Thing, just far less terrifying. And those practical effects of the pod opening were just mesmerizing. I don't know if it was stop motion or what, but it looks super creepy. Speaking of practical effects, this serial is an absolute showcase of them, with so many fantastic physical props and costumes. And you know me, I love some miniatures exploding. Very Thunderbirds. With a complimentary 4th Doctor death fake out to boot. Just add it to the list. So, for those of you who haven't seen The Seeds of Doom, or The Seeds of Death, or The Thing prequel, what do the pods actually do? Well, they latch onto a human host, turn them into a plant, and proceed to go on a rampage with the ultimate goal of spreading across the entire world, Day of the Triffid style. Excellent beginning. Love, love, love. So many moments of gold. The Doctor mentions again that he's about 740, confirming that throwaway line from last week, so there's that. A bizarre repeated line. That's cold-blooded murder. Yes, cold-blooded murder. But that's cold-blooded murder. You think? Everything's going great, but I must confess, my investment plummeted upon leaving the Arctic. Being a 6-episode story, of course they have a couple of moments of unnecessary padding, like this chase scene or more chase episode that just goes on too long until the main plot can continue. It does pick back up, and episodes 3 to 6 do have a lot to offer, but man, that first half was a masterpiece. Also, 4th Doctor neck snap. It's so weird seeing Tom Baker's Doctor run around with a handgun. He doesn't use it, but still, Doctor Who with a pistol. If anyone, it would have made sense for it to be John Pertwee, because, you know, his Doctor was always very James Bond-esque. Really makes you wonder what would have happened if the American remake of Doctor Who would have actually gone through. Hey, Doctor! Davros sends his regards! Bang, bang! Exterminate! Anyway, I was really impressed with how they kept finding ways to inject excitement into the plot. Honestly, it's one of the better 6-parters because of it. And yes, I still had my grandma nap partway through. You know, it's basically a tradition at this point. The threat keeps growing, figuratively and literally, and goes in a direction I don't think anyone could have suspected, or at least not how far they went with it. Mainly referring to the main villain, and man, what a performance! He was so captivating in the role, and wait a second. Loves plants, wears gloves, enjoys photography. It's me. Same dude. Wait, does that mean I'm a villain? I hope not. Also, a unit soldier gets absolutely mulched straight out of the Evil Dead Rise. Off screen, but still, youch. Try not to think about that one too much. And if anyone happens to be wondering if I'm into gory horror movies, admittedly, no. This year alone, I only just started watching horror movies. With, ironically enough, The Thing and the Evil Dead franchises. Because when your life is a living nightmare, you know, nothing Hollywood can put out is going to hold a candle to it. And that's all I have to say on the Seeds of Doom. I quite liked it. While I didn't find Season 13 to be anywhere close to my favourite, the android invasion and Seeds of Doom are now easily some of my more fondly remembered ones. I've discussed this before, but yes, sometimes I enjoy watching something, but then I forget about it. So just because something's good doesn't necessarily mean it's memorable. I mean, heck, just look at The Brain of Morbius. I literally just reviewed it last week, and I've already forgotten it. Pretty sure I enjoyed it. Well, anyway, 'tis the spooky season. Take it away, Doctor. Alrighty, another season done and dusted. I guess that technically means I'm halfway through now, seeing as there's 26 in total, but even though the episode counts differ and the runtime. Anyway, I'll see you next week for season 14 in The Masquerade, the Marquis of Marmalade.